Cuba, it's me. Welcome to episode 218 of the W.I.L.L.I.W show, which stands for Wrestling is Life. Life is Wrestling. Now today, I'm reviewing the TLC WWE pay-per-view from last night, and I really try to stay positive. I'm usually the one that goes into it and tries to see all the good things I can, like make the best of certain situations. I don't get to watch all the weekly WWE shows, so sometimes I don't know the stories going in. But I'm always excited for the pay-per-views, and a lot of times I feel the fans are too hard or critical on them. But this pay-per-view just wasn't really for me. I didn't really like it that much. So the first match, Asuka versus Emma, I was glad they didn't just squash Emma. I liked how they made her a real threat. This may have been my favorite match on the whole card. It was just a simple, basic match, but it was done really well, and I liked it. And so then it was the Cruiserweight Tag Team match. Brian Kendrick and Jack Gallagher versus Cedric and Rich Swann. I really like Brian Kendrick. He's my favorite Cruiserweight, and I just felt this match should have been on the pre-show. Wasn't that they did anything wrong, it just didn't have anything for me. It didn't really have a good story. It just didn't. I don't know. I didn't really enjoy it. I was trying to my hardest. I know it's like, well, you can't say you didn't enjoy it if you don't have a reason. I mean, they tried. Maybe it was the crowd was not that into it or whatnot. But yeah, it just wasn't. There was nothing spectacular about it at all. Then we had Mickie James versus Alexa Bliss. I was really behind Mickie James. It brings me back to the nostalgia. I was always a big fan of hers. I thought she performed really well. I thought she did everything she could have done. She's good at selling. The timing was good, but this match was just meh as well. There was nothing special, and the fact that I knew there was no chance in hell Mickie James would win, I kind of hurt it for me. I mean, I'd like to think, oh, maybe there's a chance to give her the belt, but I knew there'd be no way they're giving her the title belt. So that it just wasn't the greatest for me either. Like I said, I like the Asuka Emma match better than this one. And then we had the Cruiserweight Championship match. I was happy Enzo won. I felt he did a really good job of being a heel too, and I don't watch 205 Live, so I've never really seen him compete in a Cruiserweight match other than his matches against Neville and that Lumberjack one he did on Raw. It wasn't the greatest match, but I felt Enzo did a good job. He really did, and I kind of like him as a heel, but the match was not spectacular either. And then there was the whole Jason Jordan Elias thing. Elias is really starting to grow on me, but anybody else but Jason Jordan, they're trying to make him funny or something. I just didn't enjoy this segment. It felt like a crappy Monday Night Raw. In fact, the whole pay-per-view just felt like a Monday Night Raw. Like nothing was spectacular to me. And I know I'm gonna get a lot of grief for this one, but I didn't think Finn versus AJ was that great. I like AJ. I think maybe it's just because I don't like Finn Balor. I don't see the hype. He doesn't grow on me. He's just a cruiserweight to me. But to me, there's a lot better cruiserweights. Like I like his demon entrance and his look of the demon. I was upset that he won. I really wanted AJ Styles to win, but everyone's saying classic match, 5-star this, 5-star that. I've seen better matches in indie wrestling in the last 2 months, to be quite honest. I think it's just the hype and people just cannot say anything bad about it, but it just, to me, it was one of the worst AJ Styles matches he's had. He has all these great matches against these guys, and then he has to lose to Finn Balor. But I will say I much rather seeing that than him versus Bray Wyatt again. So props to that. It just, I don't know what it is. Finn Balor, to me, he doesn't have any charisma. I know some people have said his charisma's off the charts, but I can't connect with him. Like all these other guys, like AJ Styles. I was never a big fan of him when he came in, and I didn't see the hype. But he's grown on me. He organically has connected with me, where Finn Balor just has not. And I don't see why he came out as a demon if the storyline is gone, right? I guess just because maybe they had to advertise the demon, but it just didn't find its place here. And the match was good, but it wasn't great. It wasn't what everyone is claiming it to be. Um, and then the main event, man, I was looking forward to this. Like, I stayed up really late to watch this pay per view because I didn't start watching it until the Vancouver Canucks game was over. So by the time I started watching it, it was like, damn, it was like almost 10 o'clock. And I forced myself to stay awake because I just wanted to see Kurt Angle so bad. And then I was kind of sad when he came out with the Shield entrance. It made sense. I just wanted him to see him come out in his tights again, the old nostalgia Kurt Angle. And then the match was, oh man, it just dragged on. I felt bad for Rollins and Ambrose who tried, but it's almost like they had just so much stuff to remember. And then I also noticed that everything looked weak. Like, I don't expect guys to stiff the hell out of each other or kill each other, but like the punches and kicks were like really weak. It's almost like they knew, hey, these guys got to wrestle half an hour more, and it looked bad on camera, especially when they got the close-ups. They were not even hitting them, even close to making it look like it was hurting them. And then they just took too much. It's like, how does anyone expect 5 against 2 that they would last that long? And it just dragged on. There were so many parts in the match where like the Miz was just standing there doing nothing, like directing traffic. And I mean, in their heads when they planned this match, they did a good job of putting it together, but it just dragged on, and you could tell they were just waiting. Okay, what is the next thing? It was kind of cool when they tried to do the Kane pulling the chairs down on Braun Strowman, but it was like they didn't show it, so that even made it worse because it didn't hit him. Like, I just, and then Angle came out, which we all knew would happen. It's just they do that too many times now. Like Brock Lesnar's have it happen to him 2 times now in the last 2 years where they get carried away, and Balor had that happen to him like the last pay-per-view. It's just been overdone. The guy leaving and then coming back at the end. I mean, I was so happy when his music hit and he came back, but I wish he would have came back in his tights. To me, the favorite moment of the match is that part where Angle was German suplexing everybody, and then the part where Angle came back and Angle slammed Cesaro through the table and Sheamus on the floor. That was awesome. I was just like, finally! I waited all the time just to see that. And then, to me, it seemed like the match was exactly how they planned it when Roman Reigns was involved, and it's like they didn't really change anything up as far as when Kurt Angle was at it. It's like it didn't make a difference. To me, it was exactly what Roman Reigns, he would have got hurt, and then he would have came back and Superman punched everyone and speared them on their way, and then it would have been the same finish. It's like, I know they were trying to do the Shield thing, but Kurt Angle's not a member of the Shield. It's special. It's Kurt Angle's return. And then he's just part of the Shield, but for one night only. And the finish, they all do their things, boom, then the triple powerbomb. It just, I hate to say it just didn't interest me at all. It just dragged on. It felt like watching a TV show, not a wrestling show. Like, it felt like I was watching Walking Dead or Under the Dome or something. Like, but I mean, I do like to be positive. I felt everyone worked hard and played their parts and tried, but maybe the stories were not written that well, and plus that match could have been cut down 10 more minutes. The Kane Braun Strowman thing didn't do it for me that much, and I predict everyone's to say, oh, when's Strowman going to come back? He will come back tonight driving a garbage truck to the ring. Kane will be in the ring, he'll beat somebody up or something, or have a quick squash match, and Braun Strowman will come out driving the garbage truck tonight on Raw. That's what I think, because they always have the returns too quick nowadays. Especially if Roman Reigns isn't on the show. Kurt Angle won't be wrestling tonight, so they need something. So that's my predictions. I hate to say it, but tell me I'm wrong. Get mad at me if you are like, what are you talking about? I'd like to hear it, because as always, on the W.I.L.L.I.W show, like or you get a leg drop, comment or you get a clothesline, subscribe or you get a suplex. What did you think of the TLC pay-per-view last night? I'm your host, Elian Habanero. I love wrestling. Cuba!